My fiance's friend, 27F, put our 26M, 27F, engagement at stake through a drunken confession from their past. What can I do from here? Burner account. For context, I won't be using real names because they are active Reddit users and I'm seeking advice. This happened last night. I took the time to try to process, but now I'm here. I, 26M, am engaged to my fiancé Sasha, 27F. We have a pretty standard relationship, ups and downs, and our occasional arguments that get resolved. We are due to get married in the following month, but after what I found out, I don't know if I even want to continue on. Her friend Taylor, 27F, is married to her husband Mike, 28M. Mike is supposed to be the best man at our wedding and Taylor the maid of honor. We usually hang out every other weekend. We may go out or we might stay in and just watch movies and have a few drinks. But this particular day wasn't like any other where I have gotten the shock of a lifetime. I usually nighttime drinking is pretty normal, a few mixed drinks, a few shots, but this time in particular Taylor had a few drinks too many. In front of her own husband, she starts to straddle me and kiss me. I pulled back and told her not to do that. Her husband Mike had a look of absolute disbelief because of what she was doing. Taylor then proceeded to tell me she's just trying to initiate a threesome between me and my fiancé Sasha. I looked confused and Sasha didn't say anything or attempt to stop her. I asked her why is she trying to initiate a threesome. Taylor said Sasha said she wants to give you a threesome, so I'm initiating it. Sasha still hasn't spoken up, she was letting it happen. Mike was frozen, still watching in disbelief. I asked Taylor why when she's married would she try to initiate a threesome with me and my fiancé. Taylor without skipping a beat blurts out that her and Sasha had already given Mike a threesome before they got married. As soon as that came out of her mouth the room fell silent. What followed after was Mike looking down trying to avoid eye contact with me, Sasha having a look of horror on her face, me looking like I saw a ghost, and Taylor still having the same blank expression like she didn't just expose the biggest secret that I'm certain I was never supposed to know. After some time Sasha rushed Mike and Taylor out of our apartment and started trying to explain everything. I know I should have stopped and listened to what she had to say, but instead I brushed her off and went to stay at a friend's for the night. I have been getting spam calls and text from Sasha and Taylor telling me I was never supposed to know, but my reaction was uncalled for. Mike isn't talking to Taylor either as far as I know because of her actions towards me that night. I personally don't want to talk to any of them for right now. I'm contemplating on what the next step should be because this is a lot to be thrown at me.
Confession 2. My wife's 32F friendship with her best friend blew up last week, and because of that I found out she'd been cheating. I'm in such a dark, lonely hole right now. To give some context, we've been married 10 years and things didn't start off very well. I did a lot of dumb things and she tried to cheat on me to make know what it feels like. 2 years ago she filed for divorce while I was working in another state for the summer. I had a one-night stand, then decided I wanted to try and save the marriage because we have kids. I came clean about a lot of things except that. I know I'm in the wrong for that, and she almost caught me a few months after that and I made up a lie. Since then I thought we were making a lot of positive work in our relationship, but I always had that guilt. I joined the military last year and am currently in training, so I've been away from home for a few months. Plus I have been gone for the summer for work. So since April of last year I've maybe been home with her and the kids for a month if you add up all the days. Since starting training I've learned a lot about integrity and knew if we wanted to have a better marriage I was going to have to come clean about my affair. I just wanted to do it after training so I could support her the best I could because I knew it would put her in a dark place. I know I'm a piece of garbage, but I knew I would have to tell her to let her decide if she still wanted to continue our relationship for what I did. So I went home from training for Christmas break. Now a little about what she's been doing since I've been gone in April. She started going to the gym, getting lots of confidence, being a full-time mom for our kids, going to school to get a degree, and just being an all-around awesome person. Making a lot of good changes. She met another woman at the gym and they became best friends. They would go to a workout class together. Spend hours talking in the parking lot after the gym. Hanging out a ton. She told me this woman was a friend she knew she would have for life. They connected so well, understood each other, and their husbands were very similar. She never drank alcohol and almost divorced me again in the summer because I was drinking with work friends a lot. Backstory to that is we grew up Mormon and I left the church about 4 years into our marriage. She knew I was drinking, but it was always a wedge in our relationship among other church rules. After she threatened me with divorce, I stopped because my marriage and kids were more important. A few weeks after that, she decided to tell me she went out with her friend and got drunk. I was so upset because of the hypocrisy. But at the same time, she was more on my level, so I tried to be excited. She told me she went out to a bar with the friend and her husband, and the husband touched her leg, and it was immediately brought up to the friend that she was not okay with that. We both agreed she and I could drink again, but she shouldn't be with just them alone anymore while doing so. Fast forward to Christmas break, and she wants me to go with her to their house to drink and have fun. We went and had a great time drinking and letting me get to know her friend. I drank more than I should have and ended up passing out on the couch. Later she woke me up and we went home. A week later they came to our house to drink. I had a few shots of moonshine and again had to take myself to bed because I couldn't focus anymore. That night I sent a few snaps of my bottle to all my friends. Some in training and some past women I had met through work. No history of anything sexual, flirting, or of the sorts with any of these women. She went through my phone that night and saw that I had sent that snap though. I didn't know. A few nights later we went to their house for New Year's Eve, and the next morning she drove me to my parents' house so they could drive me to the airport to go back to training. On the drive she brought up the snaps and asked if I was cheating, and I told her everything about the snaps and that there was no intentions. Just sending snaps to friends. I went over every person and told her the truth. I knew she knew I sent snaps to women, and I knew she wasn't okay. She made me delete Snapchat right there. Then she brought up the woman I had an affair with, that she didn't know that I had the affair but wanted to know. I came clean and told her everything. It was hard, but I felt a weight off my shoulders. She was devastated, rightfully so. It was hard not being home and going through training each day feeling like the biggest fuck up. I hurt her so bad and I felt horrible. As the days went by, things improved where she would actually talk to me. When she drank at home, she would tell me she missed me and loved me, but if not drunk, it was a cold shoulder and no communication. She told me to communicate with her friend about how she was doing and if she was suicidal. I couldn't do anything but worry each day of training, and it sucked. A few days ago she texted me that she was having a bad day just in her feelings, but we didn't get to talk. The next day I asked her about it and she said her friend was mad at her. The reason is because the first night we went to their house and I passed out on the couch, the husband went up to my wife and grabbed her boob. She felt violated and shocked and didn't know what to do. She told the friend over 2 weeks later about the incident, and the friend was hurt that she waited so long. She was having a bad day because her best friend was now treating her like shit. A couple days later I told my wife I would be contacting that husband to tell him I knew and that it was not okay for him to do that. I wanted to kick his ass, but he was twice my size. We even went to the gym together while I was home after the incident. My wife made me go to the gym with him and try to be his friend, which looking back now I'm just at a loss for words. Well, she told the friend I was going to talk to the husband, and that made the friend turn worse on her with messages saying my wife was a shit friend. She ended up blocking the friend and told me I should text the husband then block them both. I told him. He apologized. But my gut told me not to block them. The wife reached out to me and told me not everyone in that story is innocent and I needed to talk with my wife and get her story straight. She told me that her and my wife had made out a few times and fingered each other at the request of my wife. That she had begged them to let her watch them have sex over FaceTime, and that my wife had told her multiple times she was in love with her. She sent me a screenshot that looked out of context implying it. I wanted to wait 1 more month to ask her about it when I would be home from training, but it ate me alive. So I asked her last night and she told me they made out. I had to pry and dig for her to come clean about everything. One thing after the other to get all the details. If I didn't ask, she wasn't going to tell me. There is the part of me that says, hey, this is karma, now I know what it feels like. But there is the other part of me that I'm so hurt because I thought things were something they were not. I thought we were doing so much better in our relationship. There were signs along the way, but I was too dumb to see them. She told me they only made out twice because she was curious and that there was no way she was interested in being in a relationship with a woman or dating a woman, but wanted to see what it was like, and it's just something that girls do. One of the times they made out while the husband fingered the wife. The other time was in the hot tub while the husband watched from outside the spa. Both times ensured drinking was involved. And both times were while I was in BMT and had little to no phone contact with her. When she came to my graduation, she looked off. Like a blank stare, as if she wasn't present. When I looked at the pictures we took together during that time, it looks as if something is off. And my gut was telling me for so long that something was off. She wasn't planning on telling me about any of this, and it only came out because of the husband touching her. But now I sit at tech school just sick to my stomach. I had to talk her out of suicide after the conversation, and it sucked because I can't be there. I don't have anyone to talk to about this, but my therapist, who I'll talk to in a week, but I needed to talk to someone, so I chose Reddit.
Confession 3. Suffering alone for a mistake that both of us made. I, F24, was in a LDR with my boyfriend, M24, for almost 5 years now. Last year in July, while visiting him, I went through his phone and found out he had been cheating on me with multiple girls. Of course it broke me and I couldn't think of anything. I tried to think of leaving him, but I made a horrible decision because I was too scared of leaving him. I didn't tell him and stayed with him. However, I couldn't get over the feeling and ended up making another bad decision few months later. I agreed to hook up with one of my friends. However, I couldn't do it, but I'm very guilty of kissing him. I knew the relationship was going to collapse now. My BF also told me that he won't be having any kids and won't be marrying me either before I hooked up with the friend. I was a wreck. However, I regret whatever I did since the day I did it. My boyfriend recently found out about it and called me a W*******. He broke all contact with me and left, rightfully so. I tried to contact him and tell him that I knew about him cheating on me as well. However, he didn't address it even once and kept focusing on me cheating on him. I'm obviously very sorry for what I have done and regret it every minute of my life. It seems like he is moving on and doesn't miss me or anything. I, on the other hand, try to keep finding ways to contact him and talk to him, even if it's just him belittling me. I don't know what to do. The past few months LVE been a mess, and now I don't know how to get over the breakup. I really need perspective on this.